Welcome back to another C-Talk discussion video where today we're going to be talking about exit interviews. Now, exit interviews are probably not just known by HR teams, but anyone who works for companies. Normally they're complete once an employee leaves a business. If someone resigns, an exit interview will be complete with their line manager or HR representative to go through some key questions of their experience in the business, how they've found things, what's been good, what's been bad, and so on. Now, this is common practice in most companies to do exit interviews, and most of the time they can give you some good answers. But we're going to dive into how effective are they actually in terms of giving you the correct responses. Most of the time when an exit interview is complete, an employee's mind's already made up on why they're leaving the company. So the struggle then is the information you're getting really from the heart, and is it really honest? So let's have a chat. So we're going to start with the core problem of exit interviews. And this is what we've seen in C-Talk, our team speaking to companies when we've done exit interviews ourselves in businesses in the past. The core problem is they happen too late. So if you want to get honest feedback from employees, exit interviews probably isn't the most effective way to do this, because people's honesty has ended weeks or maybe months ago if they have resigned. So if you think about it, an exit interview is complete when an employee has resigned. If you put yourself in the shoes of an employee, you've just resigned, an exit interview is happening, you've got a new job lined up, you're probably not going to care much about the operations in the business anymore. So if you sit down in that exit interview, your answers are probably going to be fairly nice, not to the point, and probably you want to end on good terms with that employer as well. So one of the core problems of exit interviews is definitely the honest answers are not there, and probably it's not the best way to get honest answers. Now, you may find this surprising I'm saying this, because a lot of the time exit interviews, like I said, can be effective for answers. But if exit interviews aren't the right way to do things in terms of getting feedback of people who are leaving the company or even in the company, what is the best way? So we personally have introduced something in the businesses we work for called stay interviews. And some companies do this. More people do the exits than stays, but stay interviews. And this could happen quarterly, monthly, half a year. And what it is, it's an interview which is exactly the same as an exit interview in terms of the layout, but it's with people in the business who aren't looking to leave and haven't resigned. And you're looking at ways that they can improve the business in the functions whilst they're still employed. Now have a think. If you were an employee and you hadn't resigned versus if you had resigned, which type of side are you going to take more honest answers from? It's probably if you haven't, because any frustration you have or any concerns in the workplace, you want to try and resolve and rectify. If you've resigned, your mind has most likely been made up. So stay interviews are something really important. I think a lot more businesses should be doing them. And one thing managers should be doing as well prior to exit interviews or people resigning is spotting patterns and behaviours. This is really important to spotting disengagement in employees. So things like not as much input in meetings, performance dips, quieter than usual, these sort of things can all be a sign of disengagement in the workplace. And if employees are disengaged, most of the time, unfortunately, a resignation does follow. So looking out for these signs can evoke a conversation with a manager and employee, and maybe this can then turn into a stay interview or stay conversation to see what can you actually do to keep this person in the business and make them happier or even resolve their frustrations. And a lot of the time you'll get the feedback prior to the exit interview. So to conclude this short video, if you're only listening to exit interviews when people have resigned, you're taking a reactive approach and not a proactive approach. To turn this around in the business from reactive to proactive, it's taking into account the stay interviews, looking for the signs of disengagement, and making sure you have these conversations early before people do resign. And the main two benefits from this is, one, you're going to keep some of your best employees in the business, and two, you can actually resolve genuine problems and struggles within your department or company. And if you can put these right, then you're going to retain even more employees, not just from this sector, but across the business as a whole. So in my opinion, and in C-Talk's opinion, exit interviews are still worth doing, but there's a lot more things you can implement before you get to that stage in order to reduce your staff turnover.